Hello and welcome to this episode of Hypnotist Bernie's Exposition. Joining us tonight, we have a special guest, Mr. and Mrs. Hypnosis, Mr. and Mrs. Hypnotist, and we're here at live here at the National Guild of Hypnotists Convention 2016, when we have thousands of hypnotists gathered and doing their thing in the hallway and in the classroom and the big hypnotism festival here, and we're just very happy to have all the way from Toronto, Mr. and Mrs. Hypnotist, and they were the guest performer on the Friday night show, which is one of the most prestigious stage in the field of hypnotism, where Mr. and Mrs. Hypnotist have to basically do their hypnosis show in front of thousands of highly trained experts at hypnosis
from all over the world.
From all over the world, and they have performed far beyond everybody could expect it, and we're here, very happy to have them here with us tonight.
We're very happy to be here with you tonight.
That's great. So let's hear your story. So how did you get started with hypnosis?
You know, hypnosis is something I've always wanted to do. I think from being a kid and seeing the movie On a Clear Day You Can See Forever. And I just fell in love with the idea of hypnotism. And I believe through pop culture, it was something that I was curious about. And then talk about the power of suggestion. I remember somebody telling me if you wanted to be a hypnotist, you had to be a doctor. And when I found out that was not the case, that I could go and get certified, I believe I had called the hypnosis certification place, and I was in a class within minutes.
Oh, wow.
Because I was so excited that that could actually be me.
Oh, wow. So have you thought about becoming a hypnotist before?
I didn't think I was able to. I didn't know.
But you wanted to.
I wanted to. I was always in love with the whole idea of it.
And do you remember when was the first time you had this idea to become a hypnotist?
I was a kid and I saw the movie, and Yves Montand is standing on top of the Empire State Building, and he's hypnotizing Barbra Streisand through his mind. And it was so romantic and so beautiful, and I was sucked in completely. I think that might be the case. And also, when I was in high school, very famous hypnotist in Canada, Mike Mandel, did a show in my high school, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember seeing my friends on the stage, and I knew there was something different about them. And I wasn't sure what it was, but I was very curious about it. And I never forgot it. And it just seemed so powerful to me. Pardon me?
Did you volunteer?
I did not. And I'm glad I didn't, because I don't think it would have had the same effect. Because I knew that they were different while they were on stage. And I couldn't believe that it was happening to them. And those kind of things stay with you. And then I was completely sucked in. And then when I did take my hypnosis course,
now the course originally is for clinical.
For clinical. But I was in the class for maybe an hour and a half.
Oh, wow.
And I was in love with it.
Oh, wow.
I knew that I was this was gonna stick with me forever.
That was after everybody have said the name.
That's right.
Yeah. Go around and introduce yourself, and then Mrs. Hypnotist. Can we call you?
You can call me
Beth. Let's unveil the mystery right now.
Well, you know, I would answer to Mrs. Hypnotist. It seems a little formal, though.
So Beth, so tell us your journey to become a hypnotist.
Well, first of all, my husband here, Paul, was a very popular stand-up comedian in Toronto, and he was always trying to get me into his act.
Oh, wow.
And I was always very embarrassed going on stage with you, because I always felt like the straight guy being kind of stupid and just standing there and not really knowing what to do or what to say. And you were always trying to get me up there and try and make me do stuff, and I'd be like, no, I don't want to. And Paul would always say, a husband and wife act, that's what we should be doing, a husband and wife act. And I would always say, no, I don't think so. And then all of a sudden, I took the hypnosis course, and I think I phoned you in the morning and I said, Paul, you're getting it. We have an act. We're going to do a hypnosis show together. And then it just happened from there.
Perfect.
And then it was all about doing a show, and then we put together a show, and then we haven't stopped.
Okay. Did you have like a vision of doing stage hypnosis with Mrs. Hypnotist before she got hers, or she went her formal path to become a hypnotist?
Well, on that clear day, stop and look around you, and the light of your being outshines every star on that clear...
They get it.
Great. Well, thanks for answering the question. We're all very clear on this.
Well, basically what Beth just started to say, I always thought a husband and wife act was a fantastic niche to fill because there wasn't one.
Okay.
I would always ask people to name one, and they would say George Burns and Gracie Allen, like from the 50s.
Oh,
Sonny
wow.
and Cher.
And Cher was from
Right.
the 70s. There wasn't one. So
wow.
finally, Beth saw on a clear day that I was right,
Okay.
and we just meshed comedy with stage hypnosis, which is what stage hypnosis is anyway. It's always
Right.
billed as comedy hypnosis.
Right.
So I'm not a hypnotist, but I became the lovely assistant, or as I always say, the Vanna White of the act.
Oh wow. The
So-
two of you have a lot in similar. Yeah.
Yes. Only Beth wears a gown on stage.
Perfect. So and then after that, did you take more training on stage hypnosis?
We did. We studied with Jerry Valley. We went to Boston. We stayed in Boston for about a week, and we learned from the best, because he's the best as far as I'm concerned. I took another course with somebody else in Vegas and wasn't really feeling it.
Okay.
And then with
I guess
Jerry...
I guess it's not a good idea to ask his name then.
His name was
But Jerry
Anton Mesmer.
Jerry is the best, and he taught us all of his secrets. And that's the thing about studying. It's not so much the knowledge, it's the confidence,
Okay.
I believe.
It's true.
And that's made me strong. And then it was all about getting our first show. And that was the big deal. And
Okay.
the first show is the one to do. And then after you get your first show, you've done it. And things become a lot easier.
We have a great first show story.
Oh yeah. Do please share.
Well, I was dying to do a hypnotic show. All I wanted to do was a hypnotic show. That's all I could think about. Thinking about it constantly. I want to get out there. I want to hypnotize a group of people. I want to get laughs. I want it to be really fun. I want to put everybody in a trance. And we tried to get people interested in us. We were phoning everybody we could get our hands on. We'd meet people on the street. We'd say, would you like a hypnotic show? Anybody that was involved in any kind of charity, how would you like a hypnotic show? We could raise some money for you. And they'd be all, oh, nobody wanted us. And we were giving it away, you know? We just
Right.
wanted to have that showcase.
We had to do one.
We
Right.
had to do one. So finally, my mom's condominium in downtown Toronto, I went to the condo committee, and I asked them if I could do a hypnosis show for her condo in the party room. And they said sure. And so we put up signs for maybe 2 months. Mr. and Mrs. Hypnotist live at the condominium party room.
Be there.
Be there, it's going to be great. We got professional posters done. And we were just so excited, and it was so rehearsed. I mean, I was just going over my notes constantly, just so excited to do this show. And then, unfortunately, my mom passed away about a week before the show. And that was devastating, because I was very close to my mom, obviously. It was, a horrible time, but as they say, the show must go on. Mm-hmm. And I knew I had to do the show. So we kept the date. We went to the party room, where I'm all dressed up, and you're all dressed up, and my niece was there, and she brought her friend. Your mother came.
My mom.
And then 2 older ladies from the building showed up. And that was it.
Oh, perfect. It's a family show. Yeah.
So we had 2 ladies from the building, my mother-in-law, my niece, and her friend Kay. And so they come up, my mother-in-law, Kay, and this other lady from the building. And I do my induction, my progressive relaxation induction, which was probably about 15 minutes long, because I really wanted to hammer it in that they're going down. I just, there wasn't, just going on and on and on, hammering it in. And then right after during the induction, before the induction, I say, now I'd like everybody just to have complete quiet while I do the induction. And once I get my committee under, you can make as much noise as you'd like. In fact, it's encouraged, and you can take as many pictures as you like. I'm talking to 3 people here, but I'm still going through all, the stops. Right. And right in the middle of my induction, my brother walks in carrying my mom's ashes. Serious. And
making noise. Jostling chairs.
And I remember thinking, I'm in the middle of the induction, and you're going deeper, and when I count to 5, and I touch you, you'll go even deeper. Then all of a sudden, he comes walking in, carrying my mom's ashes. And I remember saying to myself, okay, if I can get through this, I can get through anything.
He's a big guy, and he wasn't being quiet, and
oh wow.
And he was.
He had a few.
He was being kind of noisy, but anyway. So I got through the induction, and then I look at my committee, and my mother-in-law and this other lady. As soon as the induction's over, they just open their eyes. But Kay, she was completely under,
the best
and
subject.
She was just.
Oh wow.
And then I'm like, thank you, Hypnosis God, thank you. I did it. I hypnotized somebody on stage. I did it, and I did the whole show with her.
She was talkative, and she was responsive, and she was energetic.
She was wonderful, and it was so great. After going through so much hell, and losing my mom, and begging people to let me do a show, and nobody wanting us, and the ashes coming in.
Her brother.
Oh my gosh. And then it worked. And then we haven't looked back.
That was
great.
That was my first hypnotic show, and trust me, that was a toughie. But you know what?
How did you feel afterwards?
I felt fantastic. I did, because all I wanted to do was hypnotize somebody, and I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to. And I don't know if I hadn't have hypnotized her, I don't know if I would have become the hypnotist that I am.
We might not be here today.
That's great. So how did your hypnosis career go from there? Went from there?
Well,
we got a booking agent.
Yeah, we've done some really great shows. We've done some not so great shows.
Okay.
What
would be like the craziest, or most memorable things that happened in on set?
Nothing outrageous, really.
We've had some moments. We've had some funny comments. We've had some great people. We've traveled. We've played Vegas. We've played, remote places in Canada. Nice. And we've been booked through comedy clubs, and we've been, we've done a lot of private parties, and we've done some events, and we did a private party for a wonderful man lives in Toronto, and he put out a posting on, what's that site? What was that site?
I can't remember.
Okay, anyway. His wife had recovered from cancer, and she had a very, very bad bout of cancer, and he wanted to have a party for all the people that were responsible for her recovery. Wow. Meaning all the people that were in her hospital room and took care of her and took care of their kids while she was sick. And they were a very wealthy Italian family, and I love Italians for some reason. I don't know, the Italians to me are wonderful people. I just really like them, and something about his wanting to make everybody happy and his love for his wife and his family, and the fact that he wanted to do this, and he loved stage hypnosis, I thought, you know what, let's do the show. Let's do it as just for him, because I just really liked his vibe.
Right.
And he gave us Rolex watches.
Oh, wow.
As a gift. And we weren't expecting that, but that was very interesting.
Oh, wow.
And he was just so delighted that we showed up, and we said, and we felt like we were part of his family, and that was a really wonderful night to be in that banquet room. And he said, well, we have gifts for you, and we opened them up, and we're like, wow. He's like, well, you might want to go put those in the car. And we said, oh, okay. And so we got Rolex watches. And,
oh, wow. Have you worn them?
No, we haven't worn them. They're not really our style, but they're there, and they're cool. But that was a little interesting thing. Yeah. And he was a lovely guy. So you never know, you know. And we say yes to everything. There's something about saying yes. You don't know where it's going to take you.
Are you like a subscriber of the Secret and the Law of Attraction?
Absolutely, I practiced that big time. And
do you believe you have like somehow manifested the life that you're, the success that you're working on? Did you feel that you may have manifested the career of a stage hypnotist from the kind of vibes that you were sending out before?
I think I might have done that. I've been always attracted to retro things, and I was always attracted. I became a big fan of Miss Pat Collins, who was known as the hip hypnotist in the 1960s. And I didn't know who she was until I became a hypnotist. Mm-hmm. And then I saw everything that she's ever done, and she was in the movie Divorce American Style with Dick Van Dyke and Debbie Reynolds, and she is in the final scene where she plays herself, the stage hypnotist, that gets Debbie Reynolds and Dick Van Dyke back together because they're going to split up. And the outfit that she's wearing, the feather gown and outfit, is almost identical to my wedding dress that I had made. If you could see the pictures of that and my wedding dress, that was several years before I even saw the movie. It's weird. Mm-hmm. There's something very kinetic about those two things together.
And that is kind of the style we've chosen as, you want to use the word retro, but a 70s look, groovy.
Oh yeah. Do you feel that it had influenced your routine or?
Definitely. We want to keep things different, and we would rather die than be hack. When people say, do you make people bark like dogs or cluck like chickens?
Have you ever tried that?
I wouldn't. I'm so far away from that.
Okay.
I couldn't even. It makes me feel weird inside, the thought of it. I want to be clever. I want to make people cool. I don't want to make them look goofy.
Would you consider doing that at PETA show?
No. I want to make people cool. I don't want to make them look embarrassed. And I think one of the most rewarding things about doing stage is when we do the schools and we do the kids, and we don't know who the kids are, and we get our kids up volunteering, and there's always going to be some of them that are super funny and super animated and super creative. And then after the show's over, you can see the other kids running up to them and saying, "Oh my gosh, you were so funny, you were so great." And you just know that those kids are all of a sudden cool because nobody really knew who they were beforehand, and that was their moment. Their cool level has gone from here to here.
Wow.
And it feels great to be part of that. That is one of the most rewarding things about doing stage, especially, for the high school kids. Because, high school is very competitive and it's really hard to be popular for a lot of, students. But they have their day. They have their day in the sun, so to speak. They're on stage. They're being funny. And then all of a sudden they're being noticed.
Wow. This is a very different perspective from just watching people dance on stage while watching a YouTube video. Yeah.
Well, no, that's not where I'm at, or we are at.
So tell us, before the show started, you were talking about going into like a different direction on stage hypnosis. Tell us, where do you think you go from here?
I think that we want to bring the subconscious mind to everybody. When I say bring the subconscious mind, we want to let everybody know how they can use their subconscious mind to make their lives better, and how you can shift your feelings by just thinking about it.
Still in the context of a show, but scaled way down, as opposed to the traditional big broad stage of a stage hypnosis show, and it's all kind of wild and manic. We want to bring it down to, we're calling it parlor style, kind of like turn of the last century actually. Okay. Where it's more intimate. Okay. And people
we hypnotize everybody.
People can see up close and maybe talk to the person, and more intimate, I think is the right word. Mm-hmm. Smaller groups, maybe. I thought all those dating sites, like Plenty of Fish, might be a great place to have one. People can come there and get to know each other and experience hypnosis, and as opposed to sitting there and watching this huge show
watching everybody else.
Where it's all kind of based on dancing and singing.
Right.
More intimate. They can speak up close, and we can do energy maybe.
And so there's a benefit to everybody, and let everybody experience trance, and everybody know what it's like to go into that super relaxed state where they're very open to suggestion. Perfect. And let it work for them. Right. So I think if so many people could get so much benefit from just being hypnotized very lightly, and as you know, you don't have to be very deep to have the benefits of hypnosis. And if you're just, as Maurice Kershaw would say, if you can just relax just a bit, you become very responsive to suggestion. And that can change lives, and the idea of changing things for people that they didn't think that was possible. I love to be part of that. And when people tell me that they listen to my CDs and their lives are better because they can sleep better, and they feel more empowered, and
they just feel better.
I get so much satisfaction out of that. It makes me so happy. I'm motivated by that.
And so we have about 5 minutes left. So before the show starts, you have we've talked about how maybe our audience could also experience hypnosis from Mrs. Hypnotist.
Right. To do a little feel good.
Right. Yeah. Help us for everybody's watching.
Okay. Should I look right into the camera?
Oh yes.
Okay. So if I may ask, if you would like to enjoy the feeling of hypnosis, I will ask you permission if you would like to be hypnotized. So I'd like for you to individualize, meaning if you're with other people, just individualize to yourself and sit with your feet flat on the floor and your hands in your lap. And lend me the use of your imagination. Just daydream with me. Because if you lend me the use of your imagination, amazing things can happen. So if you want to get your feel-good vibe on, just take a nice deep breath in, breathing in, holding it, and letting it go. Close those eyes and relax. Now just drift and dream and float to the sound of my voice. That's all you have to do. Now let a wave of relaxation go all the way through your body, from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, relaxing every muscle and every nerve. Now just imagine, in your mind's eye, right in front of you, just pretend you see a feather. Just a small little feather, just fluttering and flickering and floating, just right in front of you. And just really focus on that feather. And I'm going to count from 3 to 1, and just in your mind's eye, just pretend that you see the feather floating down, and on the count of 1, it will land on you, just on your hand, or your leg, or your wrist, wherever it may land. And when it does land, let yourself go even more relaxed than you are now. Here we go. Now just focus on that feather. On the count of 3, flickering, fluttering, 2, it's descending, and on the count of 1, landing right there. And breathe. Now we all have such wonderful, magical, spectacular power inside of us. And I release in you the power to be that person you want to be. I release in you the power to have the cool you want to have. I release in you the power to excel in everything you do and be that person, and to change the things that you thought might be unchangeable. You've got it. You've got it right inside. Let it happen. Now breathe. Really feel that feeling like you've got it all. Feel that feeling like you have it and it's happening right now. Just access that feeling that you've got it going on. Now feel the love. That means you. Feel the love. And I'm going to awaken you by counting from 1 to 5. And when I get to the count of 5, you'll be rested and awake and clear and alert. And you'll feel wonderful in every way. On the count of 1, feeling rested and refreshed. On the count of 2, loving your life and everything in it. On the count of 3, knowing anything and everything is possible. On the count of 4, loving everyone. And on the count of 5, eyes wide open, feeling super duper in every way.
Wow. That felt great. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Hypnotist Beth and Mr. Hypnotist Paul.
Thank you. We're very, very honored to be here.
We're very honored to have Mr. and Mrs. Hypnotist with us. And again, this is a Hypnotist Bernie's Exposition. Join us next week, CCTV, Channel 9, Cambridge.